So thank you so much, Kolhapur Medical Association, to giving me the opportunity to present here. Thank you, Dr. Doshi, and thank you, Dr. Deepak Joshi, sir, for having me here. So my topic is scientific approach to nutrition and exercise to optimize doctor health and performance. So, how many of you actually actively try to maintain your healthy lifestyle? Can I see a raise of hands? So currently, what we are what we are seeing is some observational research. This was a very popular headline last week that approximately 53% of doctors are diabetic, 20% have hypertension, and more than 20% are obese. I don't know about the accuracy of the study, but this is a problem. But so if you have to take care of your patients better, first take care of your health. If you take care of your health, you will be able to treat your patients better. Earlier, what we do, आपण एक्सरसाइजला फक्त म्हणतो की एक्सरसाइज फॅट लॉससाठी करायला पाहिजे. बट एक्सरसाइज हॅज बेनिफिट्स इंडिपेंडंट ऑफ फॅट लॉस ऑल्सो. So when we talk about blood pressure, even if you don't lose a single kg of body fat, you will still see improvements in blood pressure from exercising. So don't think of exercise just as a way to lose weight. Think holistically. Exercise improves cardiovascular disease risk outcomes. Exercise also improves your cognitive health. And exercise also reduces your blood pressure. Plus, as my grandfather also mentioned, exercise is important for preventing osteoporosis because exercise improves your muscle mass. So, you should actively try to promote exercise to your patients, but first also make sure that you exercise adequately. So to begin with, we'll start with a nutrition framework. So most important part of nutrition is the macronutrients. So protein, carbohydrates and fats are the macronutrients. So generally we advise 1 gram of protein per kg of body weight just to sustain good health. But if you're a doctor, you're under a lot of stress, you want to be physically active. So to meet the demands of your body, it is suggested 1.5 grams of protein per kg of body weight. So if you weigh 70 kgs, जर 70 kg वजन असेल तर रोज 105 ग्राम प्रोटीन तुम्हाला गरज आहे. You need 105 grams of protein every single day. So if your body weight is 80 kgs, 80 into 1.5, 120 grams of protein. So that is required for optimal health, improving your body composition. And as you age, it might increase also. So above the age of 50, this protein requirement can go beyond this number also. Coming to carbohydrates, the carbohydrates, there is no specific number or recommendation. Generally, it is advised approximately 40% of your diet can contain carbohydrates. So this again is a vague number that can change depending on the situation. So carbohydrate as a set number nahi hai. You will have to adjust according to your diet, but make sure majority of the carbohydrates are coming from fruits, vegetables and whole grains. Coming to fat, the majority fat in our source would be the cooking oil. So make sure that the cooking oil quantity is controlled for. Approximately 20 to 25% of our diet can contain fats. Again, there is no set number here. Depending on your blood markers, depending on your lifestyle, this number can also change. तर फॅटला पण असं स्पेसिफिक गाईडलाईन किंवा नंबर नाही आहे. 20% to 25% फॅट येऊ शकतं डाएटमधनं, बट द type and the quality of fat is important. If majority of your fat is coming from saturated fat, then it is not great. So saturated fat, if you over consume it, then it can be a problematic thing. So don't consume all the fat from ghee, butter, etc. Majority of your fat should come from mono and polyunsaturated fatty acids. So mono and polyunsaturated fatty acids for vegetarians would be nuts, seeds, etc. For non-vegetarians, it would be fish and eggs. Now, what we just stated about macronutrients, how do we start? So first and foremost, track your nutrition. Measure the food you eat. Measure your oil intake. Food weighing scale सगळीकडे मिळतात, Amazon वर पण मिळते. You can use the food weighing scale and measure the food. Most importantly, I find that people are used to underestimate the amount of oil that they use. So आपल्याला वाटतं 20 ml खूप जास्त होतं. But if you start measuring your oil that you use in a daily on a daily basis, that number you'd be surprised by. So खूप underestimate करतात ऑइलची क्वांटिटी especially. So for one person 20 ml पेक्षा जास्त is not suggested, and that 20 ml should come predominantly from mono or polyunsaturated fatty acid sources. The cooking medium 20 ml असं पकडून तुम्ही चाला. That 20 ml मध्ये ghee should not be 20 ml because ghee is rich in saturated fat. तुम्ही घी ॲज अ कुकिंग मीडियम वापरू नका, घीला टॉपिंग मीडियम म्हणून थोडं क्वांटिटीमध्ये वापरू शकता. Then have good amount of protein every single day. A good rule of thumb is to start your day with protein. तुम्ही सकाळी उठल्यावर चहा वगैरे घेता, तर चहा घेतल्यावर प्रोटीनचा एक सोर्स कंझ्युम करा. सो गेट सम अमाउंट ऑफ प्रोटीन टू स्टार्ट युअर डे. Then walk after every meal. So when you have breakfast, lunch or dinner, walk after having every meal. After every few hours of seeing patients, walk, go on a walk. आपण म्हणतो sitting should not be prolonged. Prolonged sitting चं माहित आहे disadvantages. It is not just sitting. तुम्ही खूप वेळ एक जागी उभा राहिला तरी disadvantages आहेत. It's not about the position, it's about being inactive. So after every few hours of doing something, try to do some activity. It could be as simple as walking. तर तुम्ही ओपीडीत वगैरे खूप वेळ बसला असाल तर 1-2 तास पेशंट बघितल्यावर एक 5 मिनिटाचा ब्रेक घ्या, 5 to 10 minutes वॉक करून या. So try to be active every single day. Then as given, avoid fried or deep fried food. तर फ्राईड आणि डीप फ्राईड फूड तुम्ही डेफिनेटली अवॉइड करायला हवं. Then coming to exercise, there is no specific amount of days you should exercise. Exercise can be as you like. There is no rule. The important rule is to be active, to do the exercise. The type of exercise or the name doesn't matter. Initially, it is important just to do the exercise. So ideally, I would suggest that 3 days or more, you do strength training, any kind of strength training. Pilates also is strength training. Surya Namaskar, yoga also is strength training. So do 3 or 3+ days of strength training and then include an activity that you like. It could be running, it could be cycling, it could be swimming. It could even be some sport that you like. Then everybody should work out. There is no barrier for exercise. My grandfather, setting the example, age of 93, he still does strength training. So everybody should and can work out. The exact amount of exercise will differ, but you should actively try to exercise every single week. Consistency doesn't mean that if you don't do it for 1 day or 2 days, that means you're inconsistent. No, every single week will be different. The important thing is every single week, few days at least you're doing some exercise. Now here are few examples of lower body exercises. So plan your workout such that every single joint is covered. So muscles that cross every single joint are trained at least once a week. So here I have 3 examples which train your quadriceps, your hamstrings and your glutes. Now here same for the upper body, we have chest, shoulder and back muscles. Now coming to general guidelines for health. So general guidelines for health would be maintain a healthy muscle mass and body fat percentage. Recently, if you have read the Lancet report for dementia prevention, there were 14 risk factors mentioned. Of them, 4 were modifiable. One was total body fat percentage, your ApoB levels or LDL cholesterol levels, your physical activity, smoking and alcohol. So these factors are modifiable factors in your dementia risk. So if you modify these factors, you will be able to modify your dementia risk. Again, eliminate smoking and alcohol. Unfortunately, there is no single safe dose for alcohol. Even 1 glass of alcohol is not considered safe. If you have read the recent WHO guideline, there is no safe dose for alcohol. Alcohol in moderation is a myth. Alcohol कधी moderation मध्ये नसतं. WHO प्रमाणे even 1 glass is not considered safe. And again, saturated fat, it is actually 10% of your daily calories. More than 10% should not come from saturated fat. You should keep your saturated fat. So saturated fat can come from ghee, it comes from butter, it comes from red meat. So it should be less than 10% of your daily food intake. So for most people here, it would be about 25 to 30 grams. You should keep saturated fat below that number. And nutrition framework to make it easy, start your meal with protein. तर तुम्ही पहिला जेव्हा ब्रेकफास्ट खाता, पहिला तुम्ही प्रोटीन इन्क्लूड करा. सो ॲटलिस्ट तुमच्या प्रोटीन रिक्वायरमेंटचा थोडा गोल यू आर कम्प्लिटिंग इन युअर फर्स्ट मील इट सेल्फ. देन युअर लंच अँड डिनर कॅन बी फ्लेक्सिबल. आणि हे मोठं मिथ आहे की कार्बोहायड्रेट्स किंवा राईस किंवा रोटी रात्री खायचं नसतं, त्यानं फॅट वाढतं. दॅट इज अ मिथ. कार्बोहायड्रेट्स कॅन बी इटन एनी टाइम ऑफ डे. युअर बॉडी फॅट इन्क्रीज ऑर डिक्रीज विल डिपेंड ऑन युअर टोटल कॅलरी इनटेक. तर रात्री राईस खाल्ल्यानं फॅट होत नाही. तुमचं फॅट गेन किंवा फॅट लॉस तुम्ही किती दिवसात कॅलरीज खाता किंवा किती फूड खाता त्यावरती डिपेंड होतं. अँड इनफॅक्ट रात्री कार्बोहायड्रेट्स तुम्ही खाल्लं तर यू विल काइंड ऑफ सी एन इम्प्रूव्हमेंट इन युअर स्लीप, बिकॉज carbohydrates at night can actually increase tryptophan intake in your brain, which then gets converted into melatonin. So coming to some common myths and FAQs. So first, how many eggs can I consume in a day? This is got to do with whole eggs. So egg whites, there is no specific number here. So whole eggs with the yolk, with the yellow, how many can you consume in a day? So this will depend on three factors. One is your genetics, your current blood lipid profile, and your activity level / body fat. But for most people, between 2 to 5 whole eggs can be consumed every single day without any problem. Now the 2 number is not a special number, it is dependent on the overall saturated fat intake and fat intake in your diet. So if your blood cholesterol levels are already pretty high, then maybe keeping it to 2 whole eggs per day is kind of fine, because dietary cholesterol doesn't affect your blood cholesterol levels, it is the saturated fat. Then coming to second one, this is a social media special. Sugar is as addictive as cocaine. The sugar cocaine सारखी ॲडिक्टिव्ह नसते. शुगर ॲडिक्शन इज अ मिथ. तुम्ही व्हाईट शुगर नुसतं खाऊ शकत नाही. व्हाईट शुगर ऑन इट्स ओन एक चमचा खाल्ल्यावर तुम्ही बास कराल. बट जेव्हा व्हाईट शुगर तुम्ही ब्रेड किंवा बाकी कार्बोहायड्रेट किंवा फॅट सोर्सेस बरोबर पेअर केलं, देन यू माइट फील इट इज पॅलेटेबल. म्हणजे केकमध्ये नुसतं व्हाईट शुगर नसते. इट हॅज बटर, इट हॅज फ्लावर. सो व्हाईट शुगर ऑन इट्स ओन इज नॉट ॲडिक्टिव्ह. हे एक मिथ आहे. तुम्ही व्हाईट शुगर एक चमच्यापेक्षा जास्त खाऊ शकणार नाही. आणि ॲडिक्शन जर खरं असलं तर तुम्हाला रात्री लोक किचनमध्ये घामाघूम झालेले साखर खात असताना दिसले असते, पण तसं होत नाही. अँड थर्ड पार्ट फेमस बिकॉज CGMs आर बिकमिंग व्हेरी पॉप्युलर. सो ग्लुकोज मीटर्स तुम्ही बघितले असतील, कंटिन्युअस ग्लुकोज मॉनिटरिंग डिव्हायसेस, की इन्शुलिन आणि ब्लड स्पाइक मेजर करतात. इफ यू आर हेल्दी यू डोंट नीड टू मेजर दॅट. दे आर ओनली रिझर्व्ड फॉर टाईप 1 अँड टाईप 2 डायबेटिक्स. बिकॉज इफ यू आर हेल्दी, यू आर ॲक्टिव्ह अँड तुमचं बाकीचं डाएट खूप चांगलं चालू आहे, then short term insulin spikes or blood sugar spikes won't predict long term health. Short term insulin spikes is a normal physiological response from your body. So if you are healthy, you shouldn't worry about it. They won't lead to long term health outcomes. And we covered about carbohydrates and rice. Lastly, will a high protein diet affect your kidneys? This is very popular. High protein diet na kidney affect होते का? Actually यावरती recently एक मोठा मेटा अनालिसिस झालेला 24 स्टडीजचा. त्यात कळलं की ॲक्च्युली हाय प्रोटीन डाएट, इफ युअर किडनी डझंट हॅव अन एक्झिस्टिंग डिसऑर्डर, देन इट डझंट अफेक्ट युअर किडनीज. इनफॅक्ट अ हाय प्रोटीन डाएट इन हेल्दी किडनीज रिड्युसेस रिस्क ऑफ CKD और क्रॉनिक किडनी डिसऑर्डर. सो जर तुमचे किडनीज ऑलरेडी हेल्दी आहेत आणि तुम्ही हाय प्रोटीन डाएट घेतलं तर उलटं होतं, म्हणजे किडनी डिजीजचा रिस्क कमी होतो. इट रिड्युसेस किडनी रिस्क, डझंट इन्क्रीज किडनी रिस्क. Now coming to some screening, because everyone has to do some screening. Now common routine tests can work. So blood count, HbA1c, then lipid profile, LDL-C cholesterol, ApoB, and lipoprotein little a or LP little a. हे खूप वेळा unnoticed or unscreened जातं. So lipoprotein little a is based completely on your genetics. It is not affected by your diet, lifestyle, and even we don't have any kind of pharmaceutical drugs to counter LP little a. And in Indians मध्ये approximately 20% Indians have a high lipoprotein A score, which is an independent risk factor for cardiovascular disease. So LP little a, we don't have any drugs right now. So if even one of the parent has high LP little a, then the child should be screened for LP little a also. Maybe right now there will be a certain drug that will be in the market soon for this, but currently we don't have any drugs for this. Then triglycerides, again that will depend on your body fat levels. The liver kidney function test, मिनरल अँड विटॅमिन पॅनल टेस्ट टू निगेट एनी डेफिशियन्सीज. जर तुमच्या बॉडीमध्ये कुठले विटॅमिन मिनरल डेफिशियन्सीज असतील, then you should make sure to address that. If you are vegetarians or vegans, the most common deficiencies could be vitamin B12 deficiency, with D3 deficiency, in some cases iron deficiency also. So if you are vegan and vegetarian, you should pay attention to those 3 points. And one more thing to consider is genetic tests. Now, genetic tests are only recommended in special cases, or तुमच्यात काय बाकी पॅथॉलॉजी डिटेक्ट झाली असेल तर genetic tests can give a good indication. Plus, if you are facing some issues regarding digestion, or you are not able to figure out ki what problem is happening with you, then genetic tests could be ideal. Now, there is one more test that you should consider, which is the omega-3 index test. So omega-3 index test is very underrated, or in India मध्ये I don't think available पण आहेत. So they give you percentage of EPA and DHA, omega-3 fatty acids, in your red blood cells. So किती omega-3 fatty acids तुमच्या red blood cells मध्ये integrate झालेले आहेत. So think of that omega-3 index as the HbA1c for your omega-3s. कारण आत्ता जे omega-3 blood test available आहेत ते serum omega-3 track करतात, which is not a long term indicator of omega-3 intake. तुम्ही आज जर fish खाल्ला किंवा omega-3 tablet खाल्ली, उद्या तुमच्या blood omega-3 levels will be high only. They won't show low levels. So omega-3 index tests should also be in this list. And lastly, supplements to consider. The protein, तुम्ही whey protein consider करू शकता. So whey protein is a milk derived protein. So if you are okay consuming dairy, तुम्ही whey proteins consider करू शकता. Then creatine monohydrate. So creatine is found in your muscle cells, your brain cells. So creatine monohydrate supplementation will help you in 2 things. One is high amount of studies on muscle mass and maintaining muscle mass. But now research has shown that creatine supplementation also helps in cognitive health and cognitive performance. So you can consider creatine monohydrate. तर याबद्दल आहे मोठे डाउट्स की क्रिएटिन गेट्स कन्वर्टेड इनटू क्रिएटिनिन, म्हणजे ते किडनीला अफेक्ट करणार का? विल दॅट अफेक्ट माय किडनीज? बिकॉज क्रिएटिन गेट्स कन्वर्टेड इनटू क्रिएटिनिन, बट दॅट इज नॉट द केस. वी हैव इनफ research out there to suggest that creatine monohydrate does not affect kidney function. In fact, a recent study conducted on creatine, it looked at cystatin C levels of the kidney, a protein in kidneys, and it found no difference after creatine supplementation. Then omega-3, vitamin D3, then iron, then B12 is conditional, and magnesium also is conditional. So magnesium blood tests again are not completely reliable because majority of the magnesium is in your bone. So magnesium blood tests can be considered, or you can track your magnesium intake using different nutrition apps. So thank you from my end, and if there are any questions, I am happy to answer them. Thank you so much.
Session is open for questions.
Anyone wants to
Hello.
ask?
Hello.
Shital, yeah.
If a healthy individual, about 30, 35, 40 years individual, who is regularly a fitness freak or he is doing exercise regularly, and his diet is also regular diet, homemade diet. So what would you suggest, that it is necessary to take protein supplement with that, or is it not necessary because his healthy home diet is there and he is a healthy person? But is it necessary to take supplement because workout is there,
Yes.
exercise is there? So is it compulsory, or it is we can take over only with our regular diet?
So here the amount of
Whey
protein
protein
is
or
important.
creatinine, whatever.
Yeah. So creatine, yes, unless if you are eating red meat on a daily basis, red meat contains creatine. Creatine is found in the muscle. So you're eating the muscle of the animal. So if you're eating red meat on a daily basis, then probably not necessary to take creatine. But protein, the amount is important. So if you are able to hit your protein goal with just homemade food, good. You don't need any protein supplements. But in majority cases, it is very difficult. The planning and the execution is different. So protein supplements are a convenient way to complete your protein intake. So one scoop of protein gets 25 grams of protein. To get 25 grams, you have to eat 7 eggs. So one scoop is convenient.
Thank you, Tej.
Thank you.
I thank Tejas for such a beautiful discourse. I request our chairpersons to felicitate Tejas.